Let's go over 5 tips that every single Dynasty player needs to know. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's hop in. Tip number 1, everyone needs to know how to recruit. Super basic, I'm not gonna lie, super basic, but whether you use my recruiting method, your own, another YouTuber, it don't matter. You gotta know how to recruit, but more importantly, you gotta know when to get out, man, especially when you're a small program. Even as you get bigger, the concept of getting out of a recruitment, when you're cooked, when you're no longer in the contention to win that player, you need to get out and save hours, man. Hours is everything in this game. So if you're wasting hours on a guy that you may, it's a 30% chance you think you're going to get that guy, it might not be worth it. It might be time just to move on to the next player. Also, when it comes to recruiting, I think the best method is to go after the top guys first, man. Here we're only going after 2 4-stars, but this is an online dynasty. It works a little bit different. If this was an offline dynasty, you'll see a bunch of 4-stars and even a couple 5-stars with no scholarship offers. You should be pursuing them guys as soon as you advance. We would be going after these guys with no offers, if they didn't have deal breakers. But please understand, when you go after these guys with low offers around like week 8, week 10, these big time programs like LSU, they're probably going to come in the mix and try to grab a guy like this. So it's just not super free. You need to get in as soon as possible if you're going to go after these under recruited guys. Another one, this guy's from Georgia. He has no offers. I promise you, Georgia will come in the mix, and when they come in, they're going to dominate that recruitment. So you may waste hundreds of hours literally going after this guy from week 2, week 1, all the way up into Georgia coming to mix. And most likely you will not get this guy unless you build that big of a league, or you have some pipeline bonus, or you're able to do a great hard sell, get a great visit off. Just know something has to be very good for you to get some of these guys, but it's definitely worth going after them. My method is to go after the guys that really don't have the big time schools. Let me find a guy. For example, one of the 4-stars on our board. Obviously, this is an online dynasty, but this happens in offline dynasties also, where you have nothing but smaller schools interested in a guy like this. This is the ideal 4-star and 5-star you want to be going after as a small time program. This is what I consider free, because you could get into a recruiting battle with Air Force, with Sam Houston, and this is a 4-star player, top 200 in the nation. We don't have him scouted because we don't have the hours, but this is a good player to our standard, and he cares about playing time. Something we could provide him, man. So also keep that in mind. Deal breakers, don't go after no guys with a C-, C+ deal breaker in conference prestige, and that's the requirement, and you're in like the American Conference. He's going to transfer out as soon as that overall go up a little bit. So just keep that in mind, man. Pay attention to these deal breakers. Don't waste hours. And maybe the one most important thing when it comes to just recruiting and also getting better is winning games. I feel like last year you really did not have to win games to bring in top recruiting classes. This year is a little bit different, just because the way recruiter is set up. You don't get the extra hours, you don't get that other extra bonus that was very useful. So recruiter is, I don't want to say it's useless, but it's nowhere near as useful. So now, being able to hard sell and also just having good grades matters a lot. And how do you get better grades? Winning games. Coach prestige, winning games, that goes up. Brand exposure. Winning games will lead you to be in more national televised games, and you might even get some, game of the weeks, also making the playoffs. So all of this stuff improves program tradition. All of this stuff improves just from winning. Stadium atmosphere. Guess what? Home winning percentage. Another one, man. Campus lifestyle can't move. Academic prestige cannot move. But even conference prestige, it rarely moves. But maybe you be able to move it up if you win games and, bring a national championship. Coach stability, another one. All of this stuff directly influences winning. Maybe the only thing you could argue against it is playing style. But if you're winning games, you might also be putting up 309 passing yards, what's needed to keep a pocket passing quarterback happy. So, like I said, the number one thing is winning games when it comes to improving your team. And it's simple, but last year I feel like that just wasn't the case all the time. Number 2, you need to know your rules, even your goals for your dynasty, man. What are you looking for? I think sometimes we just aimlessly hop into a dynasty and we end up not having as much fun as we thought because we just don't really have a goal. We just playing to play. Have a goal. Okay, your goal is to rebuild this team to win a national championship in 5 years. You know, it's a SMART goal. If y'all know what a SMART goal is, it's something that's measurable. You know, it's all of the things you can go through, but have a goal for your dynasty, man. Maybe you're starting off as an OC, DC, and you want to move on to get a Power 4 head coach job. You know, maybe you're taking over Penn State and you want to just win a bunch of natties. Whatever your goal is, you got to have one. Just don't hop into a dynasty, you know, I'm just going to play this dynasty. We're doing my Purdue rebuild, and, you know, Purdue is arguably one of the worst teams in Power 4. Let's call it what it is, man. Low overall 77. Our goal here is not to only rebuild this team over this whole entire year, but also win multiple national championships. I'm talking about bare minimum 3. I want to bring 3 national championships to this Purdue team. That's my goal for this rebuild. We're also doing a Temple rebuild as a live streaming series, or as an online dynasty, I should say, but we're also live streaming it. Go check out the Twitch. And our goal with this is to rebuild this team also for, you know, the rebuilding sake, but also to compete against these other online users. So we're going to build this team a little bit different than we'll build this Purdue team, just because we're going up against online players. I know I need speed. I know I need certain things that I might not need against playing against the computer. So I got that in mind. So just understand what you want to do for your dynasty. Also, house rules. Are you going to play with house rules? For my Purdue series, my offline, yes, I have a bunch of house rules, man. The only 4 stars I'm going after is the ones that's interested in me, at least for right now. Until we actually become a good program, I'm only going to go after 4 stars that start off interested in me. Same thing with 5 stars, man. Also, another one, I'm not clicking off. You know, whoever I start to play with on defense, that's who I finish to play with. I'm usually a middle linebacker lurker, and I usually just stay that whole entire play with that middle linebacker. Some people like to use the D lineman. They feel like linebacker gives you too much of an advantage, and I probably will argue that it probably does, man. You catch a lot of user picks when you're using the middle linebacker. So have some house rules, man. I dropped a couple videos on it. Whatever house rules you want to implement, just have something. Just don't hop into the dynasty, you know, willy-nilly. You know, maybe you want to go do a California rebuild with San Jose State and you only recruit Cali. That could be a fun idea, you know, maybe, or you only do Texas with Sam Houston. So just have an idea. Just don't go into I'm just going to hop into a rebuild. And, you know, if you're already in a rebuild, it's not too late to put in some goals or even some rules for your dynasty. You also got to understand, like, ask yourself the question, is this a cheese dynasty or I'm playing more realistic? You know, that's a real question you got to ask yourself even as an offline player, because we dropped a couple videos on, you know, how to essentially cheese position changes. It's up to you to do it. If you're, you know, you already understood that for this dynasty, you're not going to cheese. Okay, well, guess what? You can't do that. Maybe you start another dynasty on the side where it's free game, and, you know, maybe you run a cheese in there. But at the end of the day, I probably would recommend against cheesing your dynasty. For me, it just makes it, you know, too easy. You know, you're already going up against a CPU. You have an advantage against the AI, at least in this video game, man. You do. You really do, man. So just understand what you want to do with your dynasty, how you want to play it. Even if you're a couple years into your dynasty, it's still worth implementing rules or whatever you want to do. Number 3, you have to understand who to recruit, who to start to fit your play style, also, you know, and how you want to play the game, you know, how good you want your team to be at what position. You got to realize that, man. Like, for example, looking at my Temple team, and we're in an interesting spot as far as a deal breakers. You know, our starting quarterback, he's a senior, but you look at all our other quarterbacks here, deal breaker. You know, okay, playing style, that could change. That could change. We literally have every single quarterback with an iffy deal breaker. Brand exposure, that will not increase. It won't increase this year. That has to do with playing big time games, you know, being on TV. So these 2 guys down here are going to transfer out no matter what. And this guy's a senior. Next one, playing style, he's here for now. At any moment, he could change up and transfer out. And then pro potential, that will not change. He's going to transfer out 100%. You know, and he's a freshman, 74 overall. It's annoying, but I gotta understand. We literally will not have. We could potentially have 0 returning quarterbacks, potentially. So when I'm deciding who to start, maybe I should be more inclined to start Cole because at least he might return. You know, the playing style is at least good for now. So when I'm going through my starters, not only do I want to look at overall, but more importantly than overall, I want to look at stats and understand how I want to play. You know, if I'm a scrambling quarterback, if I'm a scrambling guy, I might not want to start Evan. You know, he's one of the slowest quarterbacks in the room, even though he might have a little bit better accuracy. You know, or if you a guy that, you know, you like to throw bombs deep and you also like this to run, well, you probably don't want to start any of these running quarterbacks with 55 throw accuracy. So it's like, it's a balance. And, you know, you really want to do this for every single position. And then also when you're recruiting, you need to know who to go after and why. You know, certain archetypes in this game are unplayable, are very bad. Very bad, man. And raw strength is a key one. Raw strength may be the worst archetype in the whole entire game, man. We just dropped the O-line video, and just look how bad these skill caps are. This is for a 61 overall, and we talking about 8 points, 8 points, 8, 13, 8, 8. It costs so much to upgrade these guys. I would never recruit a raw strength. Let's just look at an agile. How much cheaper? 2, 2, 12, 2, 2. You see the difference? Like, how is these raw strength archetypes so much more expensive for them to upgrade, and they don't also get great abilities? So when you're recruiting, you gotta know this stuff for every single position. And I'm dropping videos on all of them, man. I already got the playlist on the channel, covered all of them. And over the next week, every single position group will be out over this next week. And another example is going to be for your D-line, man. So one that's really bad is the edge setter. You know, if you run a 4-3 and you got an edge setter coming off your edge, you bugging out. I'm be honest, you tripping. The edge setter, they don't develop, and they also can't rush the passer, man. Why do you have that playing in a 4-3 defense, man? He should not be on your team. He should be inside, if anything. So just understand, you got to move guys around, or you really can't move guys around until they fix the glitch. But it's coming soon to offline. But you just got to realize you can't just have anyone playing anywhere, man. Look at these attributes. Look at your playbook. Your playbook is also super important. If you're doing any type of simulation, playbook is super important, man. Best offensive playbook right now is probably Duke. Any of them on bear and shoot, them super spread offenses, all of those are kind of hidden right now for simulation. Defensive playbook, stay tuned. We will drop that. Just don't want to give y'all bad information. Don't know the best sim defensive playbook. So just understand all of this stuff matters, man. Like, look at these stats. Just don't start the best guy. We got 30 D tackles all around the same overall. It's on me to identify who should start here, man, and why. You know, I'm more inclined to, you know, maybe start the guy with the best block shedding because we couldn't really stop the run. You know, I'm just more inclined, you know, block shedding and strength, and, you know, so just understand all of this and also properly set your depth chart. We'll probably drop a video on how to set your depth chart for every single position, so probably stay tuned for that. Number 4, you gotta find some good sliders, man. I'm be honest, the all Heisman or the Heisman gameplay, I don't love it. I don't love it, man. Last year, I enjoyed the Heisman gameplay a lot. I thought it was difficult. This year, it seemed super easy. And, you know, maybe I'm just very good at the game. Maybe not. That seemed super easy, man. We're going to put some intense sliders on. For me, I know some people, you know, out here playing on All-American. Whatever you play on, just understand maybe you still need to put sliders on All-American. You know, people definitely do that. You know, All-American is supposed to provide a little bit more realistic gameplay. Heisman is supposed to be difficult. So when I hop on Heisman and it's easy, that's the issue for me. So I'm going to probably make these sliders very challenging here at some point, man, for my own Purdue series at least. And also, you know, just understand all of that. And then even when it comes to your sliders for your transfer portal, you got to make some adjustments, man. So these adjustments we're making for our online league. We put the slider down to 38 just to reduce the players entering the portal by a tad bit, man. If you want to also decrease this for the CPU, feel free, but we decreased it a little bit. I think it's worth doing it, man. Also, I know some weird stuff going on with Aftershock, I believe is the ability, and wear and tear, so maybe you also want to decrease your wear and tear settings. I don't have the best sliders for y'all right now. I'll be honest. We will get there. I will get there, but I don't have the best sliders. It's plenty of slider sets online, but my whole thing is the game been out for less than 2 weeks. No way anyone has the best sliders. You know, it takes time to learn this stuff and learn where the sliders need to be. So find something that works. If you do have something that works, please send them to me, whether it's on Discord or whatever. I am searching for good slaughters. Last thing y'all need to know is this game is not perfect. So don't treat it like it's perfect. Don't act like it's perfect. Don't expect it to be perfect, man. It's going to have flaws. Did we expect it to have this many flaws as it does now? Probably not. But it's good to see that EA is actually trying to fix some of this stuff. You know, they dropped the patch for position changes the other day, and they're going to continue to fix some of these issues in the big title update. We'll see what that looks like. But don't just hop on this game like it's perfect. If you're going to constantly complain about the game, and I say that like I haven't been complaining lately, but I actually enjoyed the game, and I do. Overall, I enjoy the game. Is it issues? 100%. But sometimes I just put my blinders on, ignore the issues, and just play the game for what it is, man. So, and I know a lot of people out there waiting to start their dynasty. If that's you, I don't know if it'll ever be a perfect time to start your dynasty. I don't know. Maybe after this next title update will be the best time. Maybe. Also, we might get a little roster update, man. It's a lot of players with bad faces, face cams. Also, a lot of players missing. So maybe with this next title update, they'll drop a bunch of new players, also update players, and then also we get some fixes. So if you're waiting to start your dynasty, I just don't know if it's ever going to be a perfect time. You know, it's always going to be you're waiting on something. So I just say go ahead, hop in, man, and just play the game for what it is if you have the game already, man. If you're waiting to buy it, listen, that's your choice. But that's all I got for y'all boys today. If y'all enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate y'all, and we on to the next one.